Every year, the camera industry experiences at least one rumor cycle that refuses to die down, one story that captures the imagination of creators and enthusiasts alike. In 2026, that story revolves around a single name, the Sony A7S IV. Since the release of the A7S III, which set the standard for low-light performance and hybrid shooting, filmmakers, vloggers, and hybrid creators have been eagerly anticipating a successor. The wait has been long, and the chatter ranging from whispered specs to prototype sightings has transformed curiosity into full-blown excitement. Every new leak, interview, or insider tip has only intensified the hype surrounding the Sony A7S IV, signaling that Sony is gearing up for a monumental S-line release. The A7S series has always existed in a different class compared to the A7R lineup. While the R series cameras follow relatively predictable refresh cycles, the S line appears only when Sony believes a leap forward is essential. That infrequency makes every rumor, every small leak, carry weight. In early 2025, whispers from component suppliers hinted at a new low-megapixel sensor with dramatically improved dynamic range, immediately sparking intense discussion in online communities. The speculation suggested Sony might be tweaking the classic 12-megapixel design upward, possibly landing somewhere between 12 and 20 megapixels. This modest increase would allow the Sony A7S IV to retain its low-light dominance while offering slightly higher resolution for still shooters, striking a balance between performance and versatility. Video performance is another area where the Sony A7S IV is expected to push boundaries. Multiple insiders have mentioned new heat management technologies reminiscent of the experimental A12 prototypes. If true, this would enable higher bitrate workflows, longer continuous recording, and potentially even 8K capture, though Sony would likely limit this to prevent overlap with its cinema line. More realistic expectations include 4K at 120 fps without crop, 4K at 240 fps with manageable crop, and 10-bit 4:2:2 in all modes. This overdue upgrade would bring the hybrid S-line even closer to professional filmmaking standards, making it a compelling option for creators who need a lightweight yet powerful tool. Thermal management has become a central talking point. Leaks suggest that Sony is rigorously testing the A7S IV for extended cinema-level recording sessions, implying that the camera could handle long shoots without overheating. This aligns with the broader goal, to maximize the hybrid potential of the S-line without encroaching on the higher-tier cinema cameras. Improved thermals could also make handheld and gimbal shooting far more reliable, a feature that has become increasingly critical as creators pursue more mobile workflows. Autofocus is another key area of improvement. Early firmware notes indicate a potential upgrade to AI-driven 1-tier AF logic, which could bring enhanced subject detection and better tracking in low-contrast conditions. If Sony brings flagship-level autofocus technology to the A7S IV, it could redefine what mirrorless cameras are capable of, particularly in unpredictable documentary and street shooting environments. Even rolling shutter may see improvements, with whispers of near-global shutter technology being tested to minimize distortion and incremental but impactful enhancement for filmmakers. Design rumors suggest subtle but meaningful changes. Reports point to a slightly thicker body with a larger passive cooling system and a deeper grip. While the S-series has historically favored compact form factors, these updates suggest Sony might be prioritizing reliability and handling over minimalism. For creators who spend hours holding and shooting, this could be a welcome change, blending ergonomics with performance in a package that still feels manageable. When analyzing the competitive landscape, it's clear that the Sony A7S IV isn't entering a vacuum. Canon has started making serious moves in low light and video performance. rumors of an EOS R5 Mark II with improved thermal management, and the mysterious EOS R1X with potential high-end video capabilities, suggest that Sony will face significant pressure from a resurgent Canon. Even Canon's mid-tier models, such as the R6 Mark III, have already demonstrated reliable 4K recording over long sessions, proving that the playing field has narrowed. Panasonic is arguably the most aggressive competitor. With their Lumix S series revival, improved color science, autofocus advancements, and competitive pricing, Panasonic has become a serious contender in the hybrid market. The next generation S1H or its successor could bring higher resolution video, superior internal codecs, and dynamic range performance that rivals full-fledged cinema cameras. Nikon, too, has evolved. The Z series, particularly the Z6 III and Z8, have impressed filmmakers with color accuracy, thermal handling, and flexible recording options. If Nikon pushes further into the hybrid space, Sony's dominance could be challenged in areas where it once faced little opposition. Even Sony faces internal competition from its own cinema line. With cameras like the FX3 and FX6 successors looming, the A7S IV will need to strike a careful balance, offering powerful video capabilities without cannibalizing the higher-end models. The S line must remain relevant and desirable while respecting the hierarchy of Sony's professional offerings, a tricky balancing act. Smartphones also continue to erode part of the entry-level and mid-range market. Devices like the iPhone Pro Max, Sony Xperia Pro, and flagship Android phones have become capable video tools, forcing mirrorless cameras to offer substantial advantages in dynamic range, lens selection, and low-light performance. The Sony A7S IV must clearly demonstrate its value to creators in this environment, ensuring that a mirrorless investment remains worthwhile compared to increasingly powerful smartphones. The pressure on Sony is immense. The A7S IV is not just another camera, it's a statement about Sony's ability to maintain its leadership in the mirrorless video space. While Sony's camera division remains strong, its competitors are innovating aggressively, narrowing the gap in areas that once defined Sony's advantage. Recent releases have been reliable but not revolutionary. If the Sony A7S IV fails to impress, creators may begin exploring alternative systems not out of dissatisfaction, but because rivals are pushing innovation harder. In conclusion, the Sony A7S IV is shaping up to be one of the most consequential camera releases of the year. With the competition heating up and creators' expectations higher than ever, Sony has a unique opportunity to redefine the hybrid camera market. By balancing incremental improvements with thoughtful innovation, the A7S IV could reset the benchmark for full-frame mirrorless cameras once again, just as the A7S did years ago. For filmmakers, vloggers, and creators, it isn't just another release, it is potentially the defining tool of 2026.